we are targeting members who are successful, people who are established. It's like you don't give a gun to a person who doesn't know how to handle it. So what we're looking for is their entry requirements to come into our organisation. People need to have achieved something in their lives. They need to be achievers. They need to be orientated towards achievement. So somebody who can't afford our membership has voted themselves out, basically.
Ludovic Barber-Charon, one of the most famous and wealthiest men in the world. His claim of crashed land to Earth in the 1960s is disputed among many. Among being a cult icon, he also claims to be a nuclear physicist, a painter, a doctor, and he is a writer of 2 best-selling books, As the Earth Trembles and The Book of Light. I made this documentary to investigate just how he became the man who fell to Earth, and also to see why so many people believe he is a fraud and nothing more than a charlatan.
I was almost a historian. I've seriously considered being a historian, and while I was in the throes of this decision, I came on the idea that leaders amplify the mistakes. Their mistakes are amplified by the numbers who follow them without question. And charismatic leaders tend to build up followings, power structures, and those power structures tend to be taken over by people who are corruptible. I don't think that the old saw about power corrupting and absolute power corrupting absolutely is accurate. I think power attracts the corruptible.
Frank Herbert was a heavy critic of Mr. Charon's, but there was also another. A Dr. Anthea Lincoln at the London University of Science.
Where did you first hear about Mr. Charon?
I think I heard about him in, I think it was 1990. I went along, he does these sort of big events, and I went along to one of those as a press member. Well, I was I was press because I was writing a book, I thought about writing a book. So that's when I first saw him, and I did. Well, I don't say this lightly because as a psychologist, I obviously have to be careful how I talk about mental health issues, but I did really feel that he had a problem of some sort. I can't say exactly, but I would say certainly he has paranoid delusions. He was clearly a liar, and it was just extraordinary to see the way that he managed to string the audience along.
Friends online that I talk to, I send them links, I show these things, and they just simply cannot be bothered. What do we do about people like that? How do we get these people to see and to realise and to understand that these are the kind of things that they need to be interested in, they need to talk about and think about?
The members of Charon's Foundation of the Institute of Light are often called young, dumb, and nothing more than blind sheep. I caught up with a member to see why he was spending so much money in a year on a membership.
When did you first hear about Mr. Charon?
I first heard about him when I was about 15. I was just walking through the street, heading on my way to school or college or something, and I just saw a magazine on a rack outside a shop with his face on with the headline, "I Fell to Earth." At that point, I didn't even give it a second glance. I just thought, what like bollocks. But later on in life, about 2-3 years ago, I got recommended his book, As the Earth Trembles. I picked that up, and I saw the name, didn't really recognise it much, but I read the first couple of chapters, and as I kept going, it was one of those, it was such a gripping book, gripping read, it felt so true, it really hit home hard. So from then on, I did some more research and decided it was a good idea to get into his beliefs because they hit home very hard with me. It was very believable.
So how much of the story do you actually believe?
I believe it to the T, to the point. The whole of it is just, once you've read that book and his second book, it is just one of those things. It's so hard to not believe once you've read it.
So you believe he came here on a spaceship?
Yeah.
From a planet Nahim?
Yeah, completely.
Three of your followers, ex-followers, should I say, have said, have claimed that you're a fraud. What would you say to these followers? You know, who just seem to have abandoned many of your teachings and seemingly turn against you and you know, claim that you're a fraud and nothing more than a charlatan who seems to be profiting off a lot of people.
I can't think of anyone when you put that question to me. I can't think of anybody. But what I would like to, because I do understand the truth and I understand the world, there's no organisation that doesn't have those that are for it and those that are against it. And there's no organisation that doesn't have its enemies. And that is the very nature, that where you have good, you have evil. And we are profoundly good. So naturally we do attract the powers of evil, who are jealous of us, who are envious of us, and they like to spread malicious rumours. But as far as you're saying, people who have been followers who have left, I can't think of any. But let's say there are some. Then what I would say to you is that they came into our organisation as evil people to spy on us, and then once they'd spied on us, they then have gone out of our organisation then to try to destroy us.
Could you tell us why you left the foundation of Light, why you left the institute?
Yeah, actually I've left the foundation because I've received many different jackmails and stuff like that. I mean, all this trouble I've been finding because since I spoke one of my head accounting to investigation where exactly this money is gone. Since I found the money is gone to different, to his own personal pocket, we've been stopped to donations, and since I stopped, all this trouble started coming for me, my family. So we have to move a house. We see a different life because since this day, trouble is coming for everyone. So
is it everyone who tries to leave seems to have the same problem as you? You know, I've talked to some people who are just too fearful to do interviews with me because they're scared of what happens if the institute finds out.
yeah, actually, if you try to, I mean, if you are one of the good donators, and if you leave the organization, I mean, someone is going to lose money there. So in this situation, I think the main important thing here is to carry on the organization and keep going donation. But we're not going to carry on donation money for something which means come for their own personal business. And we don't donate money for that. We donate for people who really need, for do something better for their life, for people really is in critical situations and they can help in different ways.
It seems there was an ugly and menacing side to the foundation that was not being seen to the public. There are many other ex-followers who tried to speak out, all of which were heavily sued and bankrupt.
I do feel it's appalling the way these people are actually being tricked into handing over all their money. This man is phenomenally rich. He's just spending their money, you know, as I said, on his own private desires. And I think they really need to understand who this man is, which they can certainly do by reading my book. And to realise that they're wasting their money. This is a absolutely fruitless cause, and the whole thing is totally fraudulent.
Do you have any plans of going back to Naheem?
Yes, of course.
When do you?
I'm planning to go back in your time, 2015. I'm going to go back. I've been missing my home planet very much indeed, and really it's because of the importance of my work here on Earth that I've stayed, and it's one of the reasons why I do need a lot of money to live, because without it, for a person of my my makeup, etc., it is not for me to live a sort of a life without money and without assets and without jets, helicopters, being able to do the things I need to do.
What kind of things are there?
What kind of things do I need to do?
Yeah.
Well, one of the most important things is the spreading of the message, is to let people understand our way of thinking. It is basically the closest I think that you'll find that within the Hindu religion, they talk about Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, and Guru Devu. These are the creator, the maintainer, and the destroyer. And this, where we are from Naheem, is we are very much the creator. We create things.
When you were here before, can look in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so very special. But I'm a creep, and I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't care if it hurts. I wanna have control. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. I want you to know